Hi, I'm Brooke Hetherington, and today we're going to be doing a tutorial on a dead deer. The first thing you want to do is make sure you cleanse the face with micellar water, and then we're going to go right into our two-step silicone base. You're then going to mix part A and part B on a metal palette and apply it directly onto the client's forehead. The effect we're trying to achieve by doing this is to create a mound to resemble a gunshot wound. The next step is going to be blending the edges of the silicone into the client's skin and creating a divot in the middle of the mound to create the deeper part of the wound. While we let the silicone dry, we're going to jump right into our base. Taking our Makeup Forever HD palette, we're going to color match with our client. You're then going to take your color matched foundation shade and apply it all over the client's face with a medium-sized flat brush. We're then going to blend the foundation shade with a dense dome-shaped brush. Make sure to avoid the forehead as the silicone is still drying. With a medium-sized flat brush, we're going to take our concealer shade and apply it under the eyes and on the chin. We're going to let that sit and dry while we move on to the next step to achieve more coverage. You're then going to apply your Pros-Aid with a sponge to help with longevity and blending the edges. I'm then taking a Q-tip with micellar water to clean up the Pros-Aid and silicone edges. Using the same HD palette, I'm taking one of the contour shades and applying that to the client's cheekbones and forehead. I'm then taking a dense brush and blending it into the skin. Remember, the goal here is to create a very bronzed look. After we let the concealer set, I'm now going in and blending out the under eyes and the chin. I'm now applying concealer to her eyelids to create a base for our eye look. I'm now taking the blush shade from the HD palette and applying that to the high points of her cheekbones and blending that in with a fluffy brush. I'm now blending out any creases that might have formed under the eye and setting that with the Ben Nye setting powder and a fluffy brush. With a big fluffy brush, I'm now setting the whole face with the same Ben Nye setting powder. I'm now taking the same foundation shade as before and applying that to the wound's edges to blend them into the skin. You want to make sure you're taking your time with this step because the better the edges are blended, the more realistic the makeup look will be. I'm now taking the Ben Nye cream palette with the brightest red shade and applying that to the middle of the wound to resemble an open sore. Now taking a deeper red shade from the same palette, I'm applying that to the edges of the wound to create depth. Using the same red shade from before, I'm going to apply that to cover the silicone. I'm now taking a lighter red shade from the same palette and creating a circle around the original wound to create the look of inflammation. I'm now using the Ben Nye setting powder to set everything in place. Ensure you clean up as you go. I'm now taking the same contour shade from the HD palette and applying that to the base of the nose to create the nose for the deer. I'm now taking the same shade and creating a line down the cupid's bow. I'm now taking the contour shade from the Graftobian palette and applying nose contour and blending it into the crease of the eye. If you blend your edges out too much, you can always go back and clean them up with concealer like you see I'm doing here. I'm now adding more depth and contour with the same Graftobian shade we used on the nose. Going back in with the same Ben Nye cream palette, I'm taking the white and the base of a makeup brush to stipple dots around the face. I'm using different sized brushes to create dimension within the dots. Now I'm applying the same cream contour shade to the top lip. Using the Ben Nye Cream palette, I'm taking the bright red shade and creating a perfect circle around the wound and 4 parallel lines on the circle. I'm now applying the scab blood to the deepest parts of the wound. I'm now taking a more liquid blood and applying drips around the wound. Now you're going to do any finishing touches you deem necessary. And with that, you have your finished look.